He finally gets his powers and immediately learns they can ruin him. Mark Grayson wants the simple version of heroism: big punch, big save, big cheer. But power isn't a costume, it's a mirror, and it reflects what you refuse to face. His dad is the gold standard, the planet's champion. Invincible feels like destiny. It also feels like pressure tightening around his throat. Day one, the skies look easy. But the ground is messy. Homework, a job, a girlfriend who wants the truth, not excuses. A mom who knows strength is restraint. A city that bleeds when heroes get it wrong. Omni-Man trains him hard. No hand-holding, no comfort. He's not teaching Mark how to fly. He's teaching him what it costs when you fall. Responsibility is not "I can." It's "I must," even when it hurts, even when no one sees, even when the right move is not the loud move. Mark charges into alien invasions with a smile. He learns fast that victory can be ugly. Collateral has faces. The screaming doesn't stop when the portal closes. You can win and still fail someone. That's the first crack. Not in his body, in his certainty. Adam Eve gets it. She can bend matter, but her biggest flex is saying no to the stage. No to applause as currency. Yes to building bridges, homes, food, relief. Maturity is who you are when no one's keeping score. Meanwhile, the Guardians fall. Not to a monster in the dark, to the monster in their living room, a betrayal so absolute it rewrites the rules. Power without discipline becomes power without mercy, and mercy is the heart of heroism. Mark doesn't know yet. He's busy juggling tests and texts. He lies to Amber because secrets feel safer than shame. He wants to be everything to everyone. That's not love. That's fear in a cape. Then comes Titan, a street-level plea, a problem small enough to feel safe. Help me take out a crime boss. Easy boxes to check. Mark steps in. He gets used. Pawns think they're players until the real game starts. Battle Beast arrives like a thesis statement. Strength without strategy means you're just another target. Bones break. Trust shatters. Titan levels up. Mark eats the consequences. You don't become responsible by being needed. You become responsible by telling yourself the truth. What am I ready for? Who pays when I pretend I am? Cecil moves pieces behind the scenes. He's not cruel. He's clinical. His job is choosing the least bad future. That's not villainy. That's governance under fire. Mark hates it. He wants clean lines. Good guys here, bad guys there. But power expands your circle of impact. It also expands your circle of guilt. Omni-Man watches his son struggle. He sees potential. He also sees a deadline. Because Nolan's past isn't a backstory. It's an agenda. And agendas always collect. The reveal hits like a meteor. The family dinner you can't walk away from. There's no human storybook in Nolan's voice. There's empire, longevity, math without empathy. Identity cracks loudest when it's inherited. Mark's blood says one thing. Mark's heart says another. He could choose legacy. He chooses conscience. That's not rebellion. That's adulthood. Then comes the lesson no child deserves. No filters. No safety net. Cities turned to chalk dust under two invulnerable bodies. A train becomes a lecture on momentum and mortality. Nolan calls it perspective. It's actually irresponsibility with infinite force. Here's the brutal paradox. The stronger you are, the tighter your leash has to be. Because one bad second becomes a lifetime of consequences for someone else. Because "I didn't mean to" doesn't resurrect anyone. Mark survives. Barely. Bones knit. Hospital lights hum. Silence becomes the loudest question. Who am I now? He's not the kid at the burger shack anymore. He's not the son in the picture frame. He's a person who has seen the edge and refused to jump. That refusal is discipline. That refusal is identity. Not what you can do, what you will not do. Amber doesn't need grand gestures. She needs consistency. She needs presence. Harder than punching a meteor. Harder than any villain. Mom is broken yet unbowed. Her strength is ordinary and therefore extraordinary. She loves the man who betrayed her. She still makes breakfast. She still anchors the house. That's emotional maturity with no costume and no flight. Eve spirals and steadies. Great power, tight leash. She learns that fixing things means listening first, acting second. She maps the human cost before she moves atoms. That's discipline in its purest form. Mark looks at the skyline and finally sees it. Responsibility isn't the weight on his back. It's the shape of his spine. It's how he stands when the world tries to bend him. He trains smarter. He asks for help. He stops promising what he can't deliver. He starts delivering what he quietly promised himself. Be honest, be present, be patient, because power multiplies what's already inside you. If you're reckless, it multiplies wreckage. If you're bitter, it multiplies cruelty. If you're grounded, it multiplies hope. Nolan leaves orbit with silence behind him, but silence isn't empty. It's space for Mark to choose, not perfection, direction. The next threat won't care about his growth. That's fine. Real growth doesn't beg to be seen. It shows up anyway. He starts with the small, ice packs, stitches, texting people back. He shows up to class, sits in the back, phone on silent, guilt loud. Cecil calls anyway. No day off for the only line left. Mark breathes, says yes. Not because he owes Cecil, because he owes himself. Responsibility is boring most days. It's routine. It's the thing you keep when the spotlight leaves. He learns to land softer, to check perimeters, to plan exits, to ask for backup, to not be the first to swing. Amber wants the same thing. Consistency. A calendar that means something. Mark tries. He blows a date. He owns it. Not with gifts, with truth. No theatrics, no speeches. Just, I messed up. I'm changing how I plan. Small thing. Adult thing. Eve goes the other way. No costumes, no patrols. She sees a bridge cracking and fixes it. She turns famine into crops, roofless into housed. Quiet power, less applause, more actual change. Discipline, shaped like patience. Mark watches, jealous for a second, then inspired. Not everything needs a fight, but fights don't wait for permission. A man with scars from worlds Mark's never seen appears. Kind eyes, too calm, angstrom levy. He speaks like a doctor. He dreams like a saint. He says, "Help me help everyone." A machine humming with 1,000 versions of hope. Mark's hungry to be useful, to not just punch. He offers power where knowledge should lead. He doesn't read the room. He reads the promise. The lab fills with variants, memories, pooled, wisdom, compressed, risks, unseen. Guardians step in hard. Sirens, shouts. It turns to chaos fast. Wires rip, energy spikes. The kind man burns into something else. Whole lifetimes of pain crash at once. Angstrom's face folds into fury, not at fate, at Mark. Intentions didn't matter, preparation did, he didn't have it. Good hearts aren't shields, discipline is. He learns it on the floor again, bleeding, again. He apologizes to the team, not just, sorry. What did I miss? How do we prevent this? Questions, not excuses. Cecil refuses to coddle him. You're a weapon until you prove you're not. Rough-edge truth. Mark could rebel. He sits with it instead. He trains, not to hit harder, to last longer, to listen mid-swing, to spot manipulators, to catch lies that sound like miracles. Donald stares at his reflection in 2 pieces of reality. He's back, but not whole. Memory is a house with missing rooms. He smiles anyway. He files the questions, keeps working. Another quiet example. Duty isn't loud. Robot, now in flesh, recalculates. Pain registers. Emotions complicate his math. He wanted perfect order. He made messy love. Monster Girl forgives what she can, doesn't forget what she shouldn't. Boundaries form. Trust becomes earned again. Discipline isn't control. It's respect, chosen daily. Eve overreaches once, a chemical plant. Her care meets chemistry the wrong way. Boom, nerves fracture, lives change. She breaks, sits on a curb till the sun moves, then stands, makes calls, faces families, starts smaller, learns scope. That's maturity, scaling power to fit reality. Mark carries groceries for his mother without asking. Debbie grips the bag like it's a lifeline. Her world shrank to rooms and breathing. He doesn't try to fix it with speeches. He does dishes. He stays for dinner. He listens when the silence hurts. He's invincible in the air. He's Mark on the couch. Identity is a braid, not a costume. Threats keep rotating. Doc villains with drills, parasites that want brains. Nothing cinematic about any of it. Just constant. He logs patterns, calls the guardians when pride whispers, solo. He starts trusting the boring choice. It saves lives. Alan limps back into orbit. Orbital bruises, broken confidence glued together with loyalty. He warns Mark. The Empire is real. The softness of Earth makes Viltrumites salivate. He used to laugh in training. He doesn't laugh now. Alan's eye flickers with fear Mark's never seen there. The cost of optimism without armor. He learns from that too. Anissa lands like a falling star. Beautiful. Terrifying. She calls him boy. She calls Earth farm. She offers a future without consent. He declines with everything he has. He loses the fight. He wins the person he keeps being. Some defeats are victories wearing bruises. Cecil throws him a line after, a towel, a look. No good job, just, you still showed up. Sometimes that's the whole medal. Mark writes out schedules. Alarms for study, alarms for sleep. Alarms for Amber. He misses one. He fixes the system, not himself. Systems beat willpower. Discipline beats vibes. The Guardians grow into their skin. Immortal leads without enjoying it. Rex jokes less. Shrugs carry weight now. Monster Girl stops saying, I'm fine, when she's not. They all start telling truths that hurt early, so they don't bleed later. Angstrom learns too. He studies versions of Mark that break. He loops their worst days till they explode. He tells himself it's justice. It feels like control. It is addiction. Power without a purpose eats the hand that feeds it. Mark studies his father's shadow, not to defeat it, to understand where it falls, so he can plant where it doesn't. He makes amends with people who never asked. The shopkeeper, the paramedic, the kid from the bus. He can't fix everything. He fixes something. It adds up. Cecil finally lets him see the whiteboard no one sees. Threat tiers, trade-offs, bets you wish you never had to place. Being right too early looks wrong, Cecil says. Mark nods. File that under unbearable truths. But he doesn't flinch. Amber smiles more often. Not because the danger is gone, because Mark shows his work. She can read how much he's trying. She sets her own lines. He respects them. Adult love is rules plus warmth. They learn the recipe as they burn a few pans. Eve and Mark fly without cape theatrics. No race, just breathing the same cold air. She points at a city block she healed. He points at a protocol he followed. No headlines, no statues. They high-five anyway. Being a hero after the world sees your family drama? It's work, not penance, not performance, work. The universe doesn't bow to his character arc. He bows to the grind, to the early alarm, to the quiet no, to the steady yes. Across a dozen skies, Angstrom opens a door. He whispers Mark's name to versions who stopped whispering years ago. He collects their rage like currency. He plans one sermon with fists. Mark's ready in the only way that counts. Not unafraid, not invulnerable, available, trainable, directed. Silence returns between calls. He fills it on purpose. Reps, rest, reading, laughing without guilt. Because the next test won't ask what he meant to do. It will grade what he practiced. And practice is who he is now. So he tightens the loop. He builds habits that hold under fire. Not just push-ups and flight drills, boundaries, check-ins. clear lines for when to swing.